Hello and welcome back to Sidebar. We are joined now by Amy Skoczlas Cole, the president of Trust in Food at Farm Journal. Amy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
A pleasure. And listen, you have a huge audience that you send out your messages to. I'd love to just hear a little bit about that circulation and also who you want to be reaching more of, who you're not reaching yet.
Sure. So Farm Journal is the largest agricultural communications media organization in the country. We reach just about every farmer in the United States. Yeah. And what we have seen is that farmers are learning and interested in opportunities for improving their sustainability performance. They hear about it from consumers. They hear about it from the companies that are buying from them. And so what we're really doing is figuring out how do we provide information out to our audiences, and then how do we get information back from those audiences to help bridge this connection, right? Less than 2% of America is now responsible for helping make sure that we all eat. And so we really see ourselves as bridging this divide. In terms of who we'd like to reach more of, my goodness, we reach farmers, but we'd really like to reach eaters too. And hear more from folks and help bridge this divide about what is it like? What is it like feeding the world's population? What are the challenges and what are the opportunities for climate smart agriculture?
Cool.
I love that. And as an eater, I would definitely be interested in hearing from more farmers. So I think you've found yourself a new audience member.
Awesome.
Now,
Awesome.
Amy, I understand you use behavior science to
Yep.
inform your work. Tell me a little bit more about how that happens at Farm Journal.
Yeah, so one of the great things about being Farm Journal is that farmers have trusted us to help them navigate change, right? That the may not seem like it, but the world of agriculture is changing so darn fast, and they rely on our journalism and our editors to help them figure out what that change means to them. In doing that, they're sharing a whole bunch of information with us about how they conduct their operations. And so what I can do then is look at the largest database in US agriculture about producers, how they're thinking, how they're feeling, how they're making decisions, what's in their way, what do they need? And then there's probably lots of folks in your audience that are like, gosh, I am looking to farmers to help me with my carbon footprint. I'm a food company, I'm an energy company, I'm an eater. How do I help that farmer make a change? And so what we see in our behavioral data is actually what do farmers need and want in order to take the next step in their regenerative agriculture journey.
Gosh, that is so interesting. I love how you're bringing that science into it. I want to come at another side now. This topic of food resilience, right? I mean, I don't want to just go kind of doom and gloom on that, but I'm curious, like, what does a failure in food resilience look like? Just help us understand that concept a bit.
Yeah, well, I think that what we have to understand, and we saw this through the pandemic, is that our food system is relatively fragile, right? And it's fragile, and the system has been designed, look, we are the most productive, the most scaled, the most economic, the most efficient food system in the world ever, and it can have points of fragility. And so the opportunity is, how do we build climate resilience, economic resilience, social resilience into the fabric of our system by thinking about being more connected to nature and by helping producers think about what does it take to move my operation in that way.
Yeah. Just build off this on the eater side for me as well, right? Okay, that's a new audience we have. I think there's probably some eaters out there listening right now. What's the story that you would want to say to them? What kind of message would you share?
I think the message that I would share is I understand everybody's trying to do the very right thing, and we're swimming in lots of information. The thing to know is probably every farmer is different. Every part of the food system is different, and so it's not a one-stop shop, right? So the more that an eater gets to know what it's like for producers in their community, and there are food producers in every part of the country, right, and all over the world, get to know what it looks like, get to know what it feels like, understand the human being that is helping make sure that you meet your nutritional needs, and then understand, like, walk a mile in their shoes a little bit.
Yeah, I've heard that, kind of scary idea that some kids think, oh, this food comes from the supermarket, right? It just shows up here in plastic.
Brown cows make chocolate milk. That's the one that I've seen that has terrified me. Like, right, we are just so disconnected from our food system.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, this was really informative and interesting, and I hope all of you listening will check out Farm Journal. And thank you for joining us at Sidebar.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Our pleasure.